Can we hear it start up?
Sure can.
So it's a one-piece tilt front end now.
It's a 66 Fairlane.
This is my office right here.
Hi, Randy Bybee, Awesome Cars Forever. I'm here today with Dan Wise, and he's going to tell us about his 1969 Corvette Stingray.
This is kind of a unique car because it was came in my possession because of 2 divorces. Back in 1977, I bought this off the original owner, who lives just about 5 miles from here to this day. But he'd just gotten a divorce, and I'd just gotten a divorce, and through a mutual friend, my friend said, "Hey, Dave's got his Corvette for sale." And luckily, I had a house with a 2-car garage, and Dave had just moved into a double with a 1-car garage, and he'd bought a new Cutlass. So he didn't want to leave either this or the Cutlass set outside, so he decided to sell this to me back in 1977. And it had never been in the rain, never been in the snow. He didn't drive it in the winter, and he wouldn't let me take it home because I bought it in January until there's snow cleared and the roads got clear. So I brought it home, and I've had it ever since. I bought it in '77. I got remarried in '79, and my wife had 3 children. And because 5 people don't fit in a Corvette, it didn't get driven much. In fact, probably around 1980, I put it on jack stands, put it in the back of my garage, and it sat there for 36 years. At the end of the 36 years, I'd end up getting retired, and I thought, you know, I'm going to get the old Corvette running. I pulled it out, and the motor was locked up from sitting for 36 years, so I had the motor redone by a friend of mine, Steve Klein, who has he builds race engines. He updated everything in it to modern standards. He put stainless steel valves, hardened valve seats, a roller cam, bored at 30 thousandths. So he did a heck of a job on the engine, as you'll hear in a few minutes when we start it up. And while I had the engine out, I put a new clutch, flywheel, everything mechanical. I pretty much redid. I did the brakes, stainless steel brake lines, fuel lines. I just updated it so I could drive it and not have to worry about it. And it's been running for 5 years now. I never had the first bit of trouble with it. Runs good on pump gas, even though it is a 427. A lot of people don't realize what that was back in the day. You know, we've got the Hellcats and the Camaros with big horsepower, but this is just no power steering, no power brakes, no cruise, no tilt, no power, anything. I think the only options was the stereo radio and the factory side pipes. But let me show you how these T-tops come out. A lot of people don't know that these are T-tops. You can almost make it into convertible because the T-tops come out and the back window comes out.
That looks pretty easy to me.
Yeah, I haven't driven it much with the tops out because it blows my wife's hair and she doesn't like that. And it still has the original. These came with bags that went in. These went in and went in the back underneath the tray back there. There they are. Everything's really tight in it. I put a new gasket in there, so that back window is really tight.
That makes it all pretty handy.
And there's a tray up underneath the back that this just slides in and locks.
Up in behind the seats here, you mean?
Yeah. This car it's got the original paint, original interior in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Survivor. Now there's a tray right here. Pardon all my trash, it's my car show stuff. Can't remember how to do that. There it comes. That tray, you slide the back window up there, then put that up.
That makes it all nice.
Then the T-tops go back in here. There's straps that hold them down.
And there's actually quite a bit of room in here once you know.
Yeah, you can get a couple suitcases in there. You just have to.
Get a good shot of the interior here while the tops are out. And is that the original steering wheel?
No, I took the original steering wheel off because I kind of like that wood, and I like the fatter one. The original steering wheels were a lot bigger than this,
Right.
and real skinny. And this one just feels a lot better. It's kind of a pain when you're sitting still without power steering, but when you're driving, it gives you a better feel. And when you got a little belly on it, it makes it easier.
Well,
to get in
I understand the little belly, yeah. Now, is that the original radio?
Yes, that was a $248 option in 1969, which was a lot of money back then because it's an AM/FM stereo.
Right.
And you select a station, it's got buttons you push on it, and that little slide up at the top is where you select AM/FM. Everything still works on it.
This interior is in beautiful shape, and it's the original interior.
Yep. Original interior, original carpet. The only thing that's not original is the steering wheel. And everything I took off this was original. The pipes, the brakes, I've got them in boxes. And in case someone would ever want to buy this, they'd say, well, I wish you had that. Well, I've got it. I saved it all. But it's pretty neat. It's almost like a convertible because, you know, the back window's out.
Right. I mean, it might as well be a convertible. I mean, you know, but I mean, it's really, I like the T-tops. So, I remember you telling me about the pipes. Now, you had to get these somewhere.
There's a Corvette place up in Logansport, Mike Allen's Corvette. He makes Corvette exhaust. He sells them all over the world. The exhaust is actually underneath those chrome covers. Those original chrome covers. And I think that the side pipe option was like $147 back in 1969. If you would buy all those parts now, you can't buy them from the factory, but aftermarket they're like $3,000.
Wow, wow.
But because I still have the original pipes and they're still okay, but they have two baffles inside. It's like a 4-inch pipe they crimp and put two baffles in it, and they spot weld those baffles, and over the years those spot welds had rusted and the baffles sit in there and rattle. And I knew that Mike Allen made those, and he made some out of stainless. So I thought, you know, it might be a good thing just to have some new ones made, and made them out of stainless steel. Won't have to worry about them rusting or coming apart or anything like that. I still have the old original ones.
Yeah.
In the garage, in a box.
I'll get another good shot of these while it's running. Now you say, okay, now are these the original wheels too?
The wheels are original. The center caps are from the 67 disc brake. They originally came with a cap they called a derby, which sticks out a lot farther. I like these because it makes the wheels look more recessed, but the wheels are original. The tires have been updated to radials because when this came out, it had an F70 15. I can't remember. I think it was a Firestone wide oval, and they rode rougher than a cob. So
yeah.
with the radials, that they ride good. It gets better traction, handles better. It's a pretty good driver because everything's been updated to, you know, fairly modern standards. No air, no cruise, no tilt, but. You know, I had a buddy of mine told me one time, why didn't you get one that had air and cruise? And I said, If I'd wanted all that, I'd have bought a Grand Prix or a
Right.
Monte Carlo or something like
Right.
that, a luxury car. But this is the third '69 Corvette I've had. This is my favorite of all of them because it's original car. When the original owner had it, he saved every receipt, everything that went
Let me
with the
come
car.
around here.
So it's fully documented. I got the original application for certificate of title,
Mm-hmm.
the Protecto plate, the owner's manual, and every time he had any work done, inspection stickers, brake alignment, whatever, he saved every receipt from that, so it's fully documented. And then when I went to restore everything, I kept all the receipts from all the things that I did to it. Here's a wheel trim instruction sheet. I mean, he saved everything. This was with the radio manual.
That's amazing.
So,
Have all that paperwork.
Yep. It adds a lot to the value of the car. And
It truly does.
and somebody says, well, that's not original. I know the original owner. I've got all the documentation, so
Yeah.
I can dispute anything anybody says about not being original. You want to hear it run?
Yes, sir. We sure do.
Want to pop the hood up so you can see the engine?
Sure. Now those pipes sound good.
It's like I put a chrome thermostat neck on there. It looks like it's leaking. I'm going to have to put the original one back on.
Now those valve covers you said came later, right?
Yeah, the original owner bought those valve covers because the originals were spent steel and they were notorious for leaking. So he bought these aluminum ones, and originally they were powder coated black, but over the years the powder coat chipped off. So when Steve did the motor, he sandblasted those for me, and I had a buddy clear coated them. So those valve covers are just clear coated bare aluminum.
They sure look nice on here.
Don't leak.
You got the automatic headlights that pop up, right?
Yeah.
After all these years, this is nice. I mean, really nice.
And these are all vacuum actuated, so there's a ton of vacuum lines there. In fact, after it's sitting for so many years, it had what's called a vacuum relay. It was leaking, and I didn't know anything about it. So I made my own little smoke machine and put it on these vacuum lines with like 2 psi. And there was a vacuum actuator or a vacuum relay over underneath the fender. I could see the smoke, so I replaced that, so everything works fine now. Back the wiper door, can't see the wipers.
Oh yeah.
The wipers are hidden underneath that compartment.
Looks good, sounds good. Let's take a ride.
Okay, let's go.
being a sports car, rides smooth.
I tell you what, putting the radial tires on it, they had the old, originally had bias ply tires. It rode pretty rough. The radial tires make a huge difference. I love those side pipes.
They sound awesome.
I like the way that front end comes up when you.
Oh yeah. I love the way it runs, period.
But it's just, it's smooth as silk, running along, cruising.
Right.
But it's got a little bit of power underneath that hood.
Well, again, Dan, I want to thank you for being on the show today. And I want to thank all my subscribers. And if you like what you see, please subscribe. And we'll see you next time